Well, in LA, it's all a popularity contest. It's not. It doesn't matter if you have a supported like group. It doesn't matter if you have a good message or, you know, I mean, those things all matter, I guess, once you dig deeper, you know. But yeah, it was just different, bro. So I just did a lot of grinding, and that's where I started to get into other things like songwriting for artists, and then doing like production for people, and then producing my own stuff even, and then learning how to just do everything else. And it's like I started like a digital marketing company that I will then do to help other artists and other companies and other brands, like totally on the side of my music, you know, because I had been doing it for myself for so long that I realized I would be like helping someone I fucked with, and then I was like, damn, I could actually like help people that need help and then have a budget to do so. So then I kind of just started doing that, you know. So I had really learned, like LA had taught me to learn how to like utilize every set of skills that you acquire, you know, because I had been so focused on music only, just like learning how to do everything that I can. And then you get somewhere where in LA, again, it doesn't matter, bro, because sometimes there may be someone behind you that has like $100,000 in funding, and their music may not even come from their soul or anyone's soul at that point. It may just be something that's there, but it doesn't even matter because they have the funding to get in front of these eyes and these eyes and these eyes, you know. So yeah, bro, that all that, you know.
Would you say Los Angeles is a hard place to live?
Very, but the thing is, yeah, it's definitely a hard place to live, bro, but everywhere is hard to live for somebody, though. That's like true. My experience was amazing, bro, and when I say that, it's because I had such good people around me, you know. Like I just, like, if I went out there by myself and didn't have anyone, bro, it would have been so hard. But it's like I had really good people around me to where we would all work together and figure out how to be in a situation that makes sense, you know. But yeah, bro, I think the biggest thing was it was just such a culture shock, you know. Now Austin definitely helped, but it's like it was such a oh my bad, like that definitely helped a lot, but it was such a like culture shock of just like, because everything is more expensive, but everyone also like just has more money, so it's like money is like, it's so hard to explain. Like, let's say you do something that you're gonna get paid $100 here for, you may get paid $300 to do the same thing in LA, or $500. You know, like it's worth like the same thing. So being, you know, from out here is different because you look at money in a whole different way, you know. So that's just like one example of, like I said, because you asked if it's difficult, and it just depends how you look at it, you know. Because there were times where I spent having no idea what the hell I'm about to do next, like being like, okay, I don't have any money, there's no way that I can, you know, because it's like so having an income with music is like an interesting thing, because at the very beginning you get paid like one time a month, you know, unless you do something extra where you're like selling a feature or do a show. But like, again, in LA, that's way different, bro, than it is in Austin. Like being able to get booked for a show, it's like in LA, anyone, you can have like people who are on a huge scale that may pull up for free to do a show just because it's LA and they're gonna get in front of X amount of people. So the competition is on a whole different level. So there were times when I didn't know what I was about to eat, or I didn't know where I was about to stay, or how I was about to like just like not survive, because like I knew I was about to, I wasn't like about to not make it. It just was the fact that I didn't, you know, like I didn't have the means to go get a hotel, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's always like, when I talk about having good people around me, it's because I don't know, like I just was grateful to have people that like were willing to, you know, we would split meals together and then figure out like, all right, now how can we get from point A to point B, and then we get to B, and then we'd be like, all right, so let's just keep going though, like let's get to Z, you know. So I don't know if that answers it, but it's what you make it, bro. Like it, I was just talking to someone recently from here, that had moved away from here, and we hadn't talked in a while. And they moved back and they don't want to work like a job, right? Like a normal job, because no one wants to work a normal job, right? So they talk about how that is difficult here because stuff's more expensive. Well, of course it's about to be difficult if you don't have the means, if you don't have like a means locked down.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be difficult no matter where you're at. It don't matter like if you're this place or that place, bro. You know, it's like, but it's like we have the opportunity to change our situation. Like there's things that are uncontrollable, you know, but I don't know. It's in LA, it's just kind of, it's like almost like rewarding though once you figure it out, you know, because like you never know what opportunities you might run into. Now that can be also like gambling almost, you know, because you may never run into something. It's almost like taking just like a really big risk. But I've seen people go to LA with not even $1 and then land and be like, all right, I'm gonna make it work. And then 3 weeks later, they're on Melrose and they had just signed a deal, or they like it's like that. And that does not happen for everybody. That happens, like, I feel like that's like a 1 in a million type of thing. But it's an example of just what can happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I don't know. It's like whatever you make it, I guess, you know?
Yeah. What brings you back to Fort Wayne?
So, when I moved from here, I did not want to come back at all. I literally told myself I wasn't going to. And then I had a daughter, right? So this was like right at the end of COVID. And I just kept thinking, I was like, I don't want, like I literally knew I didn't want to raise a kid in LA. Like before even having a kid, you know, like that was something I just always, like I appreciated, I know I used to talk shit about it, but I appreciate the quietness of my upbringing and stuff, being in the suburbs. Now I probably wouldn't raise my daughter like in the same type of area that I am from, because it's a very closed-minded and just like that type of area, you know? So I probably wouldn't raise her in the same type of environment, but I knew that LA is just, because, you know, I out there, again, being a small fish in a huge pond, you know, for what my budget was, I wasn't about to live in an area that I really would like want to have my baby in, you know, or you know, so it just, I started exploring the options again. I never wanted to come back here. And then my mom still lived here. So she was like, why don't you just come back? Because my lease was ending anyway pretty soon too. She's like, why don't you just come back and see like how it is, you know, because again, obviously my family's here, right? I didn't have any family out there at all. I'm about to have a baby. I'm like, okay, let me figure this out. And I came back and then immediately kind of just noticed the growth and like felt good. Like I don't even know how to explain it other than that, you know. It's like I just felt kind of good being back. And then I ended up moving into the place that I live in now, which is in the 05 district, which is just, it's like a really quiet area, but everything is close. Like everything is within 10 minutes. Like downtown is I think like 5 minutes away. Up north, like the Glenbrook area is like 5 minutes away, or 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes away. So it's like there's a lot of things that are really, really close. And it's a really developing city right now. You know, it's like, it's so different than when I left. Because if you think about it, bro, I left like almost like closer to a decade than 5 years, but you know, it's been like 7 years or so. So it's it's been a lot different, but I don't know, because then that is like just leads me to now where I am, is like the project that I just put out I didn't even know that I was like ready to put a project out. I knew there was time, like I had been making so much stuff, and I had really been just trying to like craft something that I was really proud of. And then I started experiencing, you know, because the project is chrysalistic, you know, so it's like, it's called chrysalistic. So it's like in 2019 I released a project, or in 2020 I released a project called Caterpillar. Like I had started it in like mid 2019, released it in 2020, and ultimately it was like me getting my start to trying to develop into who I'm going to be, using like the imagery of a butterfly and gaining its wings. Well, I didn't really know that I was going to make it into a trilogy until I started cutting the demos for what eventually turned into Chrysalistic, you know, because I had realized that I created this piece of music that was the starting point, and that was me like developing and starting to learn how to get into who I wanted to be. But then I started making this music in the same mindset of, all right, I'm like fine with taking the time for myself, and like I'm like it was like me finding peace in solitude, you know, and like just locking away. So it started feeling like that cocoon, like the chrysalis that a caterpillar goes into before it turns into a butterfly. Because it's like, obviously when we look at life, you want to be the butterfly, you feel me? Like you're trying to mold into the butterfly, but it doesn't just happen in like from this point to this point. There's that middle ground. So it was almost like this like self-act, this like what's the word I'm looking for?
Realization.
Yeah, it was like a realization, bro, because I was like, wow, I didn't have it mapped out at the beginning, but I just kind of watch everything unfold in real time. So yeah, that's what this project represents, you know, and it's 7 songs long, and it's pretty much like sonically some of the most what's the word I'm looking for? It's really different sonically. Like it doesn't sound like, I don't think it sounds like anything else that anyone else is making. But obviously that's me being like the creator of it, you know. But it's like I just am really I kind of put blinders up to everything else that was going on in the world, and I just like created this music with my producer. He's from California, and we just would like FaceTime and just like go in these sessions, you know. It's like I would be in my studio, my basement, he would be in his studio, and it's just like we would just FaceTime and change up vocals, and he'd do different mixing stuff, and it's just like it was just such a developmental process, like for me spiritually and just personally, you know. So I don't know, it feels good to have that out though. Yeah, because it's been a long time.
So I appreciate you coming out, man.
For sure, bro.
Do you have any closing remarks for the city, for your fans?
Man, yeah, I appreciate you having me, bro. You know, I don't get a lot of opportunity to talk about what actually got me started, you know, and a lot of times it was just me trying to figure myself out, you know, and trying to express myself through something that I enjoyed doing, and music was definitely really healing for that. So yeah, I don't know, I try to change the world every day, whether that's the world I'm living in or that's the world that we are all in together, you know. I try to at least keep one foot, you know, moving forward with the others. So
Yeah.
I appreciate it, bro.
Max Wells.
Yes, sir.